days to the present. As a member, you'll receive the Argonaut, an award-winning publication that has provided in-depth historical accounts for over 30 years, and the Panorama, a quarterly newsletter covering ongoing activities and historical presentations. Go to sfhistory.org and discover the San Francisco Historical Society, giving our history a great future. Become a member today.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM at HD1 San Francisco. An Odyssey station.
Good morning!
It's time to wake up. It's 5, and we're live.
Oh, is this thing on? I don't care. I want him to hear.
This is the Pregame Show, your early morning shot of sports on 95.7 The Game. Come on!
I think Mac Dre said it best. The Pittsburgh I know don't got no Steelers. That was an absolute dominant, destructive, physical ass whooping that the 49ers handed the Pittsburgh Steelers yesterday at Acrisure Stadium. God, I miss Heinz Field. Acrisure that just sucks. And the Steelers sucked yesterday. The 49ers, they didn't. That was a statement victory. If you could have a statement win in week 1, that was it. There was a couple of them. When you just look at the scores, they're just eye-popping, the opponents they're playing. The 49ers had a damn near flawless victory. Shout out Mortal Kombat. Shout out Shang Tsung. Because they snatched the soul of the Pittsburgh Steelers yesterday in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The only thing the terrible towels were used for yesterday by those Steeler fans was to wipe away the tears of sadness from little Johnny and little Sally watching their team getting destroyed like that. 30-7. It wasn't even that close. That was a dominant and near flawless performance from the San Francisco 49ers to open up week 1 of the NFL football season here in the Bay Area. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is the Pregame Show. I'm your host, Joe Spadoni. For the next hour, we'll be breaking down that win. Starting off 1-0, starting off the year not where they left off with the loss in the NFC Championship game, but for Brock Purdy, for a guy that's started and finished games, he's undefeated. Never lost. Shout out LeVar Ball. That's what Brock Purdy is. So 888-957-9570. That's the number to get involved this morning. Whether you want to call, whether you want to text, all day right here on 95.7 The Game. We want to hear from you. This is the station here in the Bay where you can sound off. You could be fired up. I don't think there's much to be skeptical about, but hey, if you're skeptical about something, hit us up, 888-957-9570. That's the call or text. Also, streaming all day right here on 95.7 The Game on Twitch and YouTube. Just search on Twitch and YouTube, 95.7 The Game. Like, subscribe, ring that bell, do what you got to do. And that's all powered by First NorCal Credit Union. And be sure to download that Odyssey app. It's free. Take it wherever you need to go. At work, if you're just getting off work, just getting ready for school, getting ready for the week, doing what you got to do to get this week off right. I hope this is a victory Monday for you, talking to Niner fans, or if you're just a fan of football, because God, I was so damn happy to sit on my couch all day yesterday. And God bless the missus for putting up with it, because, you know, our significant others, whether you're a man or a woman, if your significant other's not also into the sport, it could be like, well, we're not doing anything. No, we're not doing anything. I got Niners at 10. I got Jimmy Garoppolo getting a job done in Denver at 1:30. Oh, and by the way, I got Cowboys Giants to wrap it all up. And what a shellacking that was. Talking about statement victories. That was another one, divisional opponent for the Cowboys. But a couple of statement wins this weekend in the NFL. And the 49ers were right at the top of it. 888-957-9570. It's an MVP Monday as well here on the pregame show. Who is the MVP of that win yesterday? You're going to go with Brock Purdy, who started this thing off, as he does with touchdown passes.
First down and goal. Play action. Purdy looking end zone. Lets it rip, and he's got a touchdown to Brandon Ayuk. Perfect start for the 49ers. Ayuk breaks free.
Perfect start for the 49ers. Indeed, Joe Davis on the call for Fox Sports. Joe Davis. And who was on that color? Oh, my God. My mind's already going crazy. My mind's already going blank. Daryl Johnston. Thank you. It was a whirlwind day of sports. I mean, you're just on your phone. You're on your tablet. You have all these different screens up. For the 49ers, since obviously we cover the team here at the station, that gets the home TV view, but you're on your fantasy. You're on that. Speaking of which, my fantasy team, which no one cares about. Kyle Pitts, officially dead to me. It's Sam Laporta's season moving forward. Not even close. Why did I talk myself into that? Justin Herbert, he did it to me last year. I got him again for some reason and only got 20 points and the team scored 34. What the hell? Like, come on. If you had Tua, you won. If you had the Dallas Cowboys defense, you probably won. Oh, and the guy that had one of the most receiving yards, or points, I should say, in week one, Jacoby Myers. Yeah, he was on my bench. Algier on my bench. As I digress. Maybe your fantasy team is your MVP for this MVP Monday. But it could be Brock Purdy, 9 of 29, 220 yards, 2 touchdowns. Fumbled it a couple times, lost a fumble. Not the perfect Brock Purdy game, but he made the plays he needed to make. He was throwing some dimes out there, and they got the job done. I should say. Christian McCaffrey, 22 carries, $152. And by the way, set the tone for the second half with this.
Trying to do something here with Christian McCaffrey. Got a bruising block from Brandon Ayuk. Got another from Ray McLeod. Turned it into a touchdown. It's a 65-yard lightning strike from McCaffrey. Stealing the momentum right back.
Stealing the momentum right back, indeed. There was a little bit as the Steelers scored there at the end of the first half. It's like, okay, it's 20-7. All right, the Steelers got live. You need to set the tone that you set in that first quarter. In that third quarter, they did that. McCaffrey, 65-yard touchdown run there. Did not put the game on ice, but at 27-7, it felt like, okay, I don't think the Steelers are scoring 3 more times, at least 3 more times in the end zone against the team. They didn't score at all. And just 7 for the Pittsburgh Steelers, who, by the way, a lot of people were high on. A lot of people. It's week 1. They might still win the division. Although the AFC North, it's going to be a gauntlet. Cleveland Browns, that was another statement win. That was 1 of 3. Browns, Niners, Cowboys. Those are the 3 biggest wins of the weekend thus far. Still got 1 more to go. Jets, Bills tonight at MetLife. Can't wait for that game. That's going to be fun. That's going to be exciting. Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen. God, I love football. It's back. Did you miss it, people? Aren't you just, do you have a smile on your face this morning? It's just, there's nothing like it. There's absolutely nothing like week 1 of the NFL. Miss me with your opening days in baseball. Miss me with opening day or opening night in the NBA when you have the 2 teams playing. Who is it going to be this year? We got Warriors, Suns, Lakers, Nuggets. Okay, it's fun. So you got LeBron, Nikola Jokic, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant. You got some names. But I got everything I need on Sunday. I could be watching Falcons, Panthers. Oh, what's Bryce Young doing? Oh, what's Desmond Ridder doing? What's Kyle Pitts doing? Oh, what's Bijan Robinson doing? It's all these different names. And you care about it that much. I wish I cared more about, I don't know, the Atlanta Hawks. I don't care. Just, yeah. Washington Wizards, yeah. Although, Jordan Poole this year, so, yes, I'll keep that on the corner of my eye. Him and Kyle Kuzma. But New Orleans Pelicans, yeah. Zion playing, if not, Brandon Ingram. That's the thing with the NFL. Every single team, doesn't matter. They could be playing Thursday Night Football, and you could think the matchup is gross between Ryan Tannehill and the aforementioned, Carolina Panthers, something like that. I'm still locked in because there's at least a player on there. Hell, if there's not even a player that I care about that's playing, I'm still watching the football game. Like the Arizona Cardinals. I can't name one player I care about on that team that I have to be like, oh, I got to go watch that. No! Their coach is kind of weird, Jonathan Gannon, so I'm going to watch that. I say all that to say this, as I do my Daryl the Guru Johnson. I'm just happy. I'm just happy. And I'm sure 49er fans are happy with that win. How could you not be? 888-957-9570. I want to hear from you, people. 415, and it's right. The scarcity of it all. Xfinity Mobile text line. Because NFL's precious commodity with only 17 regular season games. It's a fact. It's an absolute fact. That's why it feels like every single win is like 20 in baseball. It's like a winning streak almost. Every single win means so much. Even in week one. The teams that won week one, whew, hey, you know what? I'm not going to get ahead of myself. I think we can go to the Super Bowl. And that's okay. That's all right. Now, most of them aren't. Of the 3 statement wins yesterday, I thought those 3 teams looked like a Super Bowl contender. On week one, I know, Spadoni, pump your brakes, but the Niners, that's Super Bowl or bust. And that looked like a Super Bowl or bust type of performance if you could have one in week one in Pittsburgh. Give it to me again. What did they do? They snatched their souls.
Your soul is mine.
Thank you. Good morning, all of you lovely people on Twitch and YouTube. Powered by First NorCal Credit Union. Patrick Sheehan, EJ Gomez, Sideshow Bob, Ernie, Grunge, Hamza Raja. Hamza? Haven't heard from Hamza in a long time. Usually during the Warriors game. Morali. Yeah. No comeback for Patrick Peterson. Tough, Pat. Very tough. What, he allowed 2 touchdowns? Oh, that's a shame. No picks. Although, he probably should have had one. He didn't, though. Ifs and buts were candy and nuts. We'd all have a Merry Christmas. Shout out Lo Neal, who did a hell of a job yesterday with Evan Giddings, E-Dog, and Lo Neal doing the away games, doing that kickoff show. Hope I'm going to get it right. I was going to call it the pregame show, but that's my show. But Lo Neal and Evan Giddings do a hell of a job. And then overtime, Mark Grandy, Alan Stiles, and Sterling Bennett breaking it all down. They're going to be doing that every single game this year. So shout out 95.7 The Game, crushing it yesterday. All the sound cut, all the producers that were working yesterday. It's a thankless job, but it's fun to be here at the station. From a guy that worked a lot of weekend shifts here, from a guy that used to do a lot of Sundays, cut his bones with Bonte and Shasky, and they're doing their overtime and their, kickoff shows, what have you. It's fun to be in with a bunch of your boys, watching the games. We have all different sorts of fans here. We have Bucks fans. We have Broncos fans. They're sad. Sean Payton, what the hell are you doing? Sweet onside kick, bro. We have Raider fans. We have Niner fans. We have all the fans here. And it's fun to be in. We're all in a league together in fantasy. So the S talking galore. So it's a good time. I hope the boys had a good time yesterday covering this game. And usually the mood is good with a week one victory. And I expect the same in about 50 minutes or so with Bonte and Shasky. They're going to be fired up. I'm going to get Shasky's thoughts here in about 32 minutes for the crossover, where he joins me each and every day, Monday through Friday at 5:45 to break it all down. Speaking of breaking it all down, let's break that game down. I thought the tone was set early on in this game in Pittsburgh when Fred Warner popped, and I mean popped, the Pittsburgh Steelers running back Najee Harris, the pride of Antioch, California. And I didn't hear from Najee until I think the third quarter, maybe the end of the second quarter. He was on a milk carton for most of this game. 6 carries, 31 yards for Najee Harris. He had that one long run to 24. After that, nothing. And to be quite honest, outside of, Deontay Johnson a couple times, Allen Robinson a couple times, not much. If I was going to nitpick anything with the 49ers performance, and I stress it's nitpicking, because anytime you allow less than 10 points and you're allowing single digits only in an NFL football game, you're doing a damn good job. The secondary, occasionally. But when you have your linebackers and your all-pro and Fred Warner making plays like this for you, it's going to be a legit year, I think, here in San Francisco.
Clean pocket here. Tipped and picked. Tipped by Warner, picked by Hufanga. One Pro Bowler leads to another. Hufanga flips it outside, and to Sean Gibson down the sideline and inside the 10. There's a flag down where that lateral happened. It was borderline.
Again, Joe Davis on the call of Fox Sports. It was borderline. Yeah, and it was not a lateral pass. That was an illegal forward pass. 5-yard penalty. No harm, no foul. It's all good. 27-7 at the time there. And it, again, felt like night-night at that point for sure, if not already there. 888-957-9570. We're breaking down the 49ers' soul-snatching victory in Pittsburgh in week 1, 30-7. And listen, the conversation heading into this game was like, this might be one of the toughest, if not the toughest, on the schedule for the 49ers. A lot of people picking the Pittsburgh Steelers these last few weeks to be the team that wins the AFC North, to come out on top. Kenny Pickett looking great in the preseason. George Pickens, Deontay Johnson, all these guys. And Deontay Johnson obviously getting hurt. That hamstring, he was pulling on it. Hopefully nothing too serious there. Allen Robinson II. All these guys. TJ Watt, who, he did his best. He tried to make some plays. He did make some plays, but that offense just could not get anything started against this 49ers defense. The front, Drake Jackson, could he emerge? Nick Bosa, he's finally back. What kind of juice is that going to give the team? I thought it gave a lot of juice to that team. For everything we saw for Kansas City on Thursday, and I thought the defense for Kansas City with the Chiefs actually looked pretty damn good, but not having Chris Jones, that anchor, that leader of that defense, I still think hurt the team's psyche. Hell, I don't know if it leaked on offense, but it just didn't feel right. And he was in the building. It was kind of weird holding in. I don't know. But just having Nick Bosa's presence there yesterday, I felt just had shockwaves throughout that defense. Oh, we got our boy. And you look at the stat sheet, Nick Bosa didn't have a sack. But you know what? It's all right. Because you got Javon Hargrave getting in there. You got Drake Jackson. Kiki, do you love me? Yes, I do, Drake. Yes, I do. I love those 3 sacks. Unbelievable. Matching his rookie total. Yeah, he had 3 all of last year. He got 3 in a game. 3 quarterback hits. He was doing his thing. Kerry Hyder getting in there. Cleve Furl making some plays. Tackle for losses. Dre Greenlaw clotheslining people a la Stone Cold Steve Austin to Hunter Hearst Helmsley. 888-957-9570. Who was your MVP yesterday? It's the pregame show, Joe Spadoni. We're breaking down the win. That's the number to call or text. Hit us up on Twitch and YouTube. Powered by First NorCal Credit Union. 602, technically 3 touchdowns since Ray put him on the ground at the goal line on CMC's touchdown run. I get you. 209, Xfinity mobile text line. Kyle should have took Brock out at any point. Go QB2, save Brock. That's from Dylan. I appreciate you, Dylan. Yeah, towards the end there, it's week 1. I get it. You kind of want to finish strong there. Don't want to let anyone, have any room for momentum. I understand it. You want to get all these guys right. But when the game's away, pull back the curtain. Again, we're nitpicking. That's a nitpick thing. Yeah, I didn't think Kyle took out the starters, soon enough. That's nitpicking. If we're talking about how, soon they pulled them, we'll worry about that towards the end of the year. That's an end of the year kind of thing when you're ramping up for the playoffs. But you want these guys to finish strong and to leave no doubt. Shout out Gwen Stefani. And I think, for the most part, they did that. The 49ers had a statement win yesterday. They said, you know what? We hear you talking. We hear you, Patrick Petersons of the world, talking down about our guy, Brock Purdy. We hear you, saying, that's cute. Do it again. Oh, we got film on him now. Oh, you just wait. Well, the 49ers have film on everyone else, and it looks like they did a little better studying than the Pittsburgh Steelers did. For all the smoke and all the adoration, Kenny Pickett, he looked great in the It's preseason, for God's sakes. Like, come on. Now, did I think the 49ers were going to destroy him this badly? No. Did I think the 49ers would win? Yes. But no one can argue that yesterday was not a statement win for the San Francisco 49ers. And Kyle Shanahan, he talks about how the game opened up for the 49ers. Take a listen.
It opened up as good as you could hope for. I thought it was about 28 minutes of really good football and then 2 minutes of really bad football. Just the offense not coming up with points there at the end, just even giving it back to them. And then us not getting that short yardage, the 2 penalties we had, and them scoring at the end of the half put a little damper on it, but it was awesome. We came out, got the ball back, and answered on that first drive, and pretty smooth sailing from there.
Pretty sound from there. Kyle Shanahan talking to the media after the game. Head coach in a great mood, and he should be. You know, you celebrate the wins every single week. Got 16 more to go. I don't think they're going to go undefeated. It's very hard to do. But it sure feels like, you know, you're looking at the schedule. I don't want to play the schedule game after week 1. But you know what? Why not? You got the Rams, who upset win against Seattle yesterday. Kind of dominated them, too. Divisional games, they're odd, they're weird. And we know about Kyle Shanahan in the regular season, owns Sean McVay. So I expect a sea of red at SoFi next week. And by the way, sea of red, not that there was a sea of red scattered around yesterday in Pittsburgh, Acrisure. God, it's just such an ugly name. Heinz. I know it's not. Had a lot of Heinz yesterday, a lot of ketchup, a lot of other condiments. But they were loud yesterday. 49er fans that traveled, and they travel well, they were loud. I was hearing 49er chants, let's go Niners. You picking up on the broadcast. And they were making themselves heard early. I saw a lot of those terrible towels just getting put on the head, a la Steph Curry on the sideline during a shellacking, if you will. Just chilling. Niner fans, they were feeling themselves, and why not? Shout out Mac Dre. That's how we opened the show. Maybe it is a Mac Dre Monday here on 95.7 The Game on the pregame show, Joe Spadoni. So playing the schedule game. Because the 49ers, you know what? After a win like that, why not get fat and happy? And I saw Bonte Hill tweet this out, exit, whatever you want to call it. And Bonte's going to be on here in, T-minus 40 minutes. He's going to be fired up. The baby's going to be, baby, ying, 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 all day. But he was like, you know what? I went from they could lose this game to they could go undefeated in the month of September. And absolutely. You got the Rams next week at SoFi. And then you open up against the Giants, who, what was that, 40-0? Yikes. That was bad. And then you got the Arizona Cardinals, who, they're the Arizona Cardinals. I can't name one player I actually want to watch on that team. Marquise Hollywood Brown, sure. Not really. And that's October 1st, so it doesn't even count. So yes. Then you got the Cowboys, date with that, October 8th. So it's time to get fat and happy these next 3 games. Get off to that hot start, that fast start. The goal of this season, what was it? To get home field advantage in the playoffs. They took a good first step yesterday in doing that. 888-957-9570, the number. I want to hear from you. What were your thoughts on that win? It's an MVP Monday here on the pregame show. Who was your MVP yesterday? Was it Purdy? Was it Christian McCaffrey? Was it Brandon Ayuk, who looks like one of the better receivers I can remember in 49er history the last 20 plus years? He's that damn good. He's that damn dynamic. He's looking like a guy that wants to get paid. And you know what? It's a good problem to have for the 49ers. These guys keep showing out in contract years. Yet another first-round pick, back-to-back, potentially getting a second contract with the team. Bosa and then Ayuk, it'd be pretty good. Hell, did he even hear from George Kittle yesterday? I didn't even hear from him. What? Look at 3 receptions, 19 yards. That's just how talented this offense is. Pick your poison. If you're Quan Alexander, if you're, Cam Hayward, all these guys, the Minka Fitzpatricks, all those dudes on the Steelers defense, pick your poison. because Kyle Shanahan will exploit whatever matchup he seems fit. He was a maestro out there, Shanahan. He was. And here's him talking after the game again about his quarterback's performance and Brock Purdy.
I thought Brock had a good game. Made some big plays, got some explosives there and some tight windows. We had some issues in protection, not just issues that we knew that would going in. Hope he can hold on to it when those do happen, just so we don't turn it over and fumble. But I thought Brock had a hell of a game.
More talking about how he felt about his players playing and a dominant win yesterday again, on the confidence he has in calling Brandon Ayuk's number.
A lot, as much as I do. All of our guys. We've got some pretty good eligibles. You don't go in thinking that it's going to all be Ayuk like it was today. You go in with it pretty balanced. And I think that just me looking at the stats right before I came in, anytime you throw it someone 8 times and all 8 of them are completions, that means you're doing some real good stuff.
Yes, indeed, Kyle. Indeed. 8 for 8. Very, very good to start off there. 888-957-9570. That's the number. We're going to take one quick break. Don't worry. We'll be back breaking down what took place yesterday. Maybe go a little around the league. Give a little score update, what went down. Again, some statement wins yesterday. You got the 49ers handling the Steelers. I thought what the Browns did against the Cincinnati Bengals, that was a statement win. That was eye-opening. Like, oh yeah, Deshaun Watson, he's still over there. Amari Cooper, Nick Chubb, yeah, he's still that guy. And also, Nick Chubb getting involved in the receiving game was impressive. And then what the Cowboys did to the Giants last night, a divisional rival. Oh, my goodness. The only thing that was a plus for the Giants yesterday was their national anthem, Queen Latifah. That was very nice. A little touching tribute for 9/11. Obviously, today is 9/11. We observed that. Can't believe it's been 22 years ago. Remember where I was? I'm sure all of us remember where we were when those events took place out at the World Trade Center. And it's going to be pretty special. I think another national anthem performance tonight as 2 New York teams play and division rivals again in the New York Jets and Buffalo Bills on Monday Night Football to cap off this week 1. Calls and texts 888-957-9570. On the other side, 49ers 30, Pittsburgh Steelers 7 here on the pregame show. Joe Spadoni, 95.7 The Game.
Your soul is mine.
I have diabetes. I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I have asthma. I'm at risk too.
If you're 19 or older,
Pregame Show on 95.7 The Game.
Your soul is mine.
Welcome back. Pregame Show. Joe Spadoni, 95.7 The Game. Niners, 30. Steelers, 7. It's a victory Monday. And it's a monster Monday. Isn't that right, Sammy? It's a monster Monday here. 95.7. Brought to you by first5california.com. Go to first5california.com to, combat toxic stress, learn about the 4 steps, somewhere like that. I've actually visited that website. You know what? If you have a little one like I do, 2 under 5, actually, even if you don't have kids, it teaches you good stuff about overcoming toxic stress in any relationship. Good communication, good talking. And you know what? There could be toxic stress a lot on Sundays this year, but not yesterday, not in the Bay. Not in Vegas, not in Dallas, not in a lot of these places. There was no toxic stress. I hope not anyways, because if you're still stressed out even after a win like that for the San Francisco 49ers, I don't know what to tell you. It was dominant. It was absolutely dominant. That's the word that just keeps coming to mind here again. 49ers 30, Steelers 7. Brock Purdy, 19 of 29, 220 yards, 2 touchdowns. Brandon Ayuk, 8 receptions, $129, 2 TDs. Christian McCaffrey, 22 carries, $152, 1 touchdown. He had the 65-yard yard run, and man, I'm trying to nitpick here. I am. Even the kicker. Yeah, Jake Moody. Perfect. Let's go, Jake.
Jake Moody. All right, so you got Purdy, check. McCaffrey, check. Jake Moody in his NFL debut, 3 for 3, check. Steelers, not a whole lot to smile about today, 30-7, 5.5 left.
Thank you, Joe Davis, again on Fox Sports. Jake Moody, much ado about nothing? Now, if we're going to nitpick that, then you could just say, he had a long of 41. Great. To which I would retort, yes, that is great. He made the ones he needs to make. What we know about Kyle Shanahan is, even with Robbie Gould, when they were in the 50 to 55 yard range anyway, he was not, taking a lot of chances there. If anything, he would like to go for it or push them back because he could lead on his elite defense. So I'm not expecting Moody to come in here and be banging, 52, 53, 54, 55. No. He needs to make those 41, 45, high 40s, mid 40s type of kicks. And the ones he asked yesterday to do, he made them. That's all you can ask. That is all you could ask from your kicker, your rookie kicker, to not shank it, to not look like he did in preseason at Allegiant Stadium against the Raiders. He looked good. Wishnowski looked good. Ray McLeod looked good. So, again, if we're trying to nitpick here, which is not really like what I like to do on a week 1, we'll save that for down the road, what they need to clean up, what they need to, correct heading into SoFi Stadium next week, which will probably be another home game for the San Francisco 49ers. I think we could all agree. Levi's South, if you will. And I know, I'm not taking a shot at Rams fans here. They got to build their, fan base up. A Super Bowl will help that new generation of fans there. But that's going to take maybe some decades to shake out. Because the 49ers, it's going to be 60-40, 50-50 again there. Hell, it could be 70-30. Now, with the win, maybe not that extreme, but you get what I'm saying. When there was the playoff game there at the NFC Championship a few years ago, it was all 49er fans. Now, that's sad, but again, they show out on the road, and we'll see it again next week. 888-957-9570. It's an MVP Monday here on the pregame show, Joe Spadoni, every Monday. Who was your MVP of this past weekend? We're going specifically with the 49ers game. We going Purdy. We going Ayuk, McCaffrey. We going Fred Warner for setting the tone. We going Hufanga for getting that pick. We going Jake Moody. You want to give it to Moody? That's fine. We going to, Drake Jackson, 3 sacks. Impressive. We talked a lot about, the concerns for this team heading into this year. Very thin on defense. If one of these guys goes down, heaven forbid, you're gone without a Bosa for a few weeks at a time or a Warner for a few weeks at a time. Can these guys step up like the Alshires in year past, like the Arden Keys of the past? Well, Cleve Ferrell made some plays. Drake Jackson made many plays. And when you look up, Nick Bosa didn't have a sack. But the reverberations of him being back on that team, of his presence out on that field, and he was getting there. He was getting close. Got a lot of snaps. Hell, he was on a snap count. We saw that report from Jay Glazer of Fox Sports early on that he was going to be a snap count. But in that first half, he was getting a lot of run. And here's Shanahan after the game talking about, Bosa's snap count.
Yeah, that made it a lot easier. Our number was between 30 and 40. That's what we said going in. But that was, hopefully we can keep it there, and that's what we were going for. We made it a little easier with some of the 3 and outs, and that's why we kept him out there at the end for most of it.
There you go. That's why they kept him out there at the end for most of it. 888-957-9570. We're going to hear from Brock Purdy in just a second, but one more from Kyle Shanahan talking about, Drake Jackson's performance with those sacks.
I'm really happy for him. I got to see both of his sacks. Drake put in a ton of work this offseason, put a ton of work going into training camp, had a setback when he got injured, so he got to miss a lot of training camp, but he's worked his butt off to get back. And when I get on the plane, I'll see how he played overall, but he's got that type of ability, and it seemed like it had a huge effect on the game.
It absolutely did. I mentioned in the first start of the show that Fred Warner, I thought, set the tone with that hit on Najee Harris. It kind of just sent shockwaves throughout the stadium, I felt like. To not just the team, but to the fan base, like, oh boy. Are the Pittsburgh Steelers, who historically have been known for their physicality, through all their Super Bowl runs, you just think about the guys and the franchise and his names. And I was listening to the Morning Roast on Friday, and they were going through all of it. For the Pittsburgh Steelers to get out-hit and out-physicaled, if you will, by the San Francisco 49ers, it's got to be humbling. And on the flip side, for the 49ers to lay that sort of wood in week 1, I think it sets the tone for the whole season. And you can say, I'm jumping the gun, it's just 1 week, we'll wait and see. Divisional round, I don't care. I know what I've seen from this team in the years past, and nothing tells me that this team is just going to not play like they did last week. Now, there'll be some adversity. They're not going to have their A game like they did yesterday every single week. And you know what makes a great team, not just a good team, a great team, is when they don't have their good stuff and they still find ways to win. That's the mark of a Super Bowl type of team. But we're talking about Super Bowl type of performances in week 1, and you can't win a Super Bowl week 1 because that would suck and the season would be over and I'd be sad and I'd have to wait another month and I'd watch baseball, and I don't want to do that. Although the San Francisco Giants got a sweep this past weekend, so shout out to them. Did anyone other than Sam Lubman watch a lick of Sunday Night Baseball? I doubt it. Although maybe here in the Bay, after what we were seeing on Sunday Night Football, because that game was over after the first quarter, it felt like. But I digress. 888-957-9570 is Joe Shasky, I see, walking in here now with a cup of coffee for me, which I greatly appreciate. And it's coffee season. It's frozen.
Oh, my hand.
Oh, his hand's frozen, but his heart is full and his heart is warm, like the Grinch, and his heart grew 3 sizes that size, whatever it is. Not saying he's the Grinch. I'm saying he's feeling good. He's feeling full. He's feeling happy. How you feeling, Joe? Real quick before we hit the break.
Niners.
On 95.7 The Game.
Meet Bruce.
Hey there.
He's a busy soccer dad who's trying hard to learn the game.
Go for the end zone.
What?
That's what the 49ers said yesterday when they walked into Acrisure Stadium.
Fizz or die, you beezy?
That's exactly it, Joe. And you were listening to the pregame show when I started off. The first line I had was a Mac Dre lyric. The Pittsburgh I know don't got no Steelers. All right? It's Pittsburgh, California, baby, is what I know.
Young Guido got his wings.
There you go.
Because he loves a good Mac Dre line.
God, I love Guido. Golfing with that guy. I need to go golfing with that guy again. He's the best.
His fantasy team name is Gambling with Guido. It's such a good name.
His vibes are so immaculate, by the way. If I'm ever in a bad mood, I feel like hanging out with Guido would just boost my vibes just immensely.
I agree.
Inside radio here with guys no one knows about, but that's fine. Pre-game show, Joe Spadoni. Crossover now, Joe Shasky joining me. 49ers 30, Pittsburgh Steelers 7. Just a dominant win, Joe Shasky. I'm going to play the drop one more time because this is what happened yesterday. Shang Tsung, Mortal Kombat, he came in there and just snatched the soul.
Your soul is mine.
I love
They were Liu Kang yesterday, the Pittsburgh Steelers. They didn't have a chance. When Fred Warner popped Najee Harris early on, I thought that set the tone and sent shockwaves throughout the stadium yesterday.
I mean, best play of the game was like a third down counter run by Najee late in the first half where he went for like 22 yards.
That was it.
And even that felt like
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they couldn't do anything.
I'm down on Najee. I said it before the year. I told you guys, you and Bonte, I was like, I don't know. Like,
what is it with Najee? I thought he'd be better.
It's the athleticism. Like, he's a big back.
Yeah.
And you could be a big back. You could be Derrick Henry. Yeah. And it's unfair of me to compare him to Derrick Henry. He's had 1,000-yard like rushing seasons, Najee. But
he doesn't get downhill.
But he just doesn't. Like, he just doesn't have that quick cut. Yeah. Like, even if you're not the fastest guy, like a Josh Jacobs,
yes,
you need to break tackles, quick cuts, stuff like that.
Josh Jacobs got better hands, too.
Yes, exactly. And that's the thing is the receiving aspect. Everyone thought and was crowning him early on. I think expectations may have been too high.
Yeah.
And maybe he'll have a good year. It was week one. Again, overreaction Monday.
No doubt.
We shall see. But it sure felt like that Warner hit early on just kind of set the tone early. And then Christian McCaffrey in that third quarter after the Steelers answered. It was 27. It's like, okay, maybe you don't want to get them the ball back, make it a one-score game. You don't want to do that. Christian McCaffrey, like, this offense, pick your poison. The Steelers just didn't have an answer. Outside of TJ Watt, who was just having his lunch, nothing else was happening.
Well, TJ Watt's sick, and we're going to talk about him, obviously. He's an outstanding player. I mean, he's an all-time player. You could just see it. Like, when he sacks the quarterback, he simultaneously does the strip thing, and as a 3-4 outside linebacker, the way he bends around the edge, I mean, he's spectacular.
The strength.
How could you walk out of that game and not have respect? This is gonna say, if he's not on the field, that's like a 40-0 game.
Yes. That's a Dallas Cowboys Giants kind of a game.
He's the only guy, maybe George Pickens to a degree, who felt like he belonged on the field with the 49ers.
Yes. Not Patrick Peterson?
Well, he did break on one ball, but like
he probably should have had one pick, but he just dropped it. But yeah, he got cooked for 2 touchdowns as well.
Well, and he fell. I don't know if Ayuk absolutely, broke his ankles. I don't know. It's tough to tell because the field did look a little choppy, like as they were coming in. Biggest takeaway, and this is going to sound like crazy, it was so loud for the Niners.
Yes,
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe how much the crowd was into it when the Niners did something well. You asked about George Kittle. And look, every week is not going to be a all-hands-on-deck week. Like, it's going to be Ayuk one week or McCaffrey or, it's a pick-your-poison offense. The fourth down play to go to George Kittle, that was, to me, like, hey, this is what this season's about. We're going to put our you-know-what on the table, and we're going to go out and we're going to try to thump you every single possession. And Bonte's been on this for about 6-7 weeks now. This offense feels as powerful as it's been since the Steve Young era.
Yeah. No, it's a good point. And listen, we were talking about before the season, could this be a historic Niners offense? Could this be a historic season for some of these guys? For Christian McCaffrey? Hell, Brandon Ayuk. He was the talk of all training camp, right? Who looked the best in training camp from start to finish? Brandon Ayuk. Yeah. Everyone was saying it. You guys were there. Yeah. You, Bonte, Loveman, all you guys are there watching this guy cook. And he did yesterday. 8 receptions, $129, 2 touchdowns. Fantasy teams everywhere rejoicing. Debo, he was setting the tone physically. There's this play. I don't know when it was, first, second quarter, but he ran, and it took 2 Steelers to tackle him, and I felt like both of them just bounced off. Like, this guy, the physical nature of Debo Samuel, when I watch him run, it's pretty incredible because he's not the tallest, but he's just so, like, stacked.
Isn't his?
He's like shorter than me. He's like 5'10".
I've walked up to him, and he's a little taller than me, but he's just so thick. He's so thick.
It's pretty unbelievable.
Yeah, it really is. Like McCaffrey's a taller player than him.
But like
when you stand next to the two.
But we think of and McCaffrey.
But I
too,
hear what you're saying.
We think about this Niners defense as being a physical tone setter, and they are.
Yes.
But the 49ers offense as well. They hang their head on physicality. Hell, Brandon Ayuk as well. Christian McCaffrey, I think, gets slept on as a guy who's just a speed and he's soft, quote unquote.
Yeah.
He's physical as hell as well.
No doubt.
Yeah.
But the thing with Debo, he's a powerful player and he's going to try to collide with people, and I understand all that. I also think we just underrate the way he high points the ball. Not that that's like his greatest skill, because it's not. Like, he's not Devontae.
You don't think of hands when you think of him, but he makes some tough catches.
Where he's contorting his body up in the air, and he makes a catch and moves his back to where he doesn't take this big blow, picks up the ball. Like, I think his agility is underrated, I guess is what I'm saying, especially in traffic.
Absolutely.
I think that he could do more down the field. Brock Purdy had some unbelievable awareness on some of these free blitzer plays where he just, spins out of it or steps up into it. I was so impressed with his poise. And then on the other side, I'm looking at Kenny Pickett, and I was just going off of the preseason. You watch these preseason games and you see those drives, because you can go up on YouTube, or the NFL has the app now where you can just kind of look through teams' drives, and you're like, yeah, he's really impressive. None of that translated.
No.
Like, nothing. And I said to myself, like, and I'm asking, take a step back, like, what is his skill set?
I thought him and Brock Purdy were comparable heading in. Just comparable.
Brock's a better athlete.
I thought Kenny, but I thought of Kenny when he was at Pitt. You think of that highlight he had, where he had that fake juke, and he was running, and they had to outlaw the play because it was like he almost like
the fake slide,
fake knee or whatever, fake slide or whatever. So I think of Kenny as an athlete, but you're right. When I compare them yesterday, Brock looked like he was a step quicker, if not 2 steps quicker than Kenny. He looked like Brock anticipated the traffic more. Maybe Kenny was like punch drunk.
He was telegraphing
everything. I don't think the offensive play calling was great yesterday for the Steelers. I didn't think they put their team in a position to succeed at time. Now, having said that, they had a huge drive towards the end there. I thought, okay, maybe they can get something going, but then that Christian McCaffrey touchdown kind of set the tone in the second half there. But to your point, I was not impressed with Kenny Pickett. And real quick, I just didn't understand the hype the last couple weeks with this Pittsburgh Steelers team winning that division. When is the last time, outside of the 49ers, where the 4th best quarterback in said division has won that division? Right? Like Jimmy Garoppolo, maybe he might have even been the 4th. Right?
Yeah.
That just doesn't happen. Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson, Joe Burrow. Kenny Pickett's not winning that division. I'm sorry.
It's a good point.
He's a limited guy. And by the way, Baltimore Ravens, they lost a lot of players yesterday. Hell, it's already week 1, the injury bug. And that's another storyline for the 49ers. No injuries. I can't think of anything happened, Joe?
No, and that's
huge.
You want to nitpick a little, take everyone out.
I know, but
like the linebackers are playing in the final couple drives, and I was just me. And you're just like, hey, like I would pull them off the field.
I'll worry about that in week.
But this is minor stuff.
I'll worry about that later, not now.
Back to the Pickett Purdy thing.
Yes.
Like, I'm sure if we switched guys on different teams, it would look different for both of those guys, right? Like there is some truth to the element of like, hey, your teammates matter. Like everyone agrees there. But when I watch Kenny Pickett throw the football, he has this elongated telegraphy throw, the way he throws. And we make so much of Jimmy Garoppolo's quick delivery, or Trey Lance's slow delivery, or Brock Purdy's, maybe not as fast as Jimmy. I don't know, man. I feel like Brock gets rid of it pretty quickly. Like when he goes to throw it, I'm just talking about going to throw the ball. It's not this elongated throwing motion. I watched Kenny Pickett, and he's got this just slow delivery setup. Do you get what I'm saying?
No, I get what you're saying.
We do this in baseball where we time how long it takes for you to go from, coming set to throwing home. And I look at Kenny Pickett, I'm like, damn, he takes forever.
Well, and that's fine. There have been guys who have been successful with slow motions, but you also have to have a cannon.
That's Byron Leftwich comes to mind.
You have to have or Colin Kaepernick.
That's a good call.
You have to have a cannon if you're going to do that.
Or other physical attributes that override the slowness of the delivery.
Correct.
Kenny Pickett was just so meh.
Yeah, no, that was not impressive. 31 of 46, 232. He averaged 5 yards a throw.
Did he look like a first-round pick?
No, he didn't. I mean, that draft too, it was such a weak quarterback draft where it was Kenny freaking Pickett going late to the Steelers. And I get it, hometown kid. I was like, he just didn't feel ever like a first round talent to me. And you look at Brock Purdy, and again, comparing skill sets, I know Brock wasn't this highly touted guy coming out of Iowa State. Shout out the Cyclones. But he just looked like the better quarterback yesterday. It's just a fact of the matter. And I get it. Kyle Shanahan puts his guys in positions to succeed, but it was the intangibles, to your point. The anticipation. There's a couple times when he just didn't even.
He has to see it get open.
He did, but there was guys coming. Who was it? Maybe it was Minka Fitzpatrick.
Oh, you're talking about Purdy, not Pickett.
Yeah,
no, sorry. I felt like Pickett had to wait till he was sure that the guy was open.
No, I think it was Minka Fitzpatrick coming at him, just free runner, going at Purdy. Just
it was a beautiful backspin. Yes.
Spin-a-rooney.
Totally agree.
Just not even shout out Booker.
He looked so poised.
Spin-a-rooney, just rolling to his up, and then throwing cross his body.
It was so sick.
And hitting who was it?
Debo.
Unreal.
Yeah.
Like that was. Listen, people were comparing it, and I'm still going to scoff at it because this guy's still played, 9 games, and I get it. He's undefeated when he starts and finishes a game with Brock Purdy. But that was Drew Brees kind of esque.
Well,
he
actually, if you look at the throw charts, because I looked at his throw chart yesterday, he did deliver the ball down the field.
He did.
Yes, were there a chunk of, I think it was like about 10 or so completions underneath, like 10 yards or less, or beyond the line of scrimmage? Yeah, absolutely. But he took some shots.
No.
That throw to Brandon Ayuk, I can't remember a contested wide receiver catch as good as that. Like, I'm sure there are some that someone's going to say in the last couple of years. That's about as good of a catch as I can remember with a guy draped all over you from a Niner.
All right, we got a minute here.
God, I'm so excited.
Your main overarching theme. We got one more game tonight. We got Buffalo, New York Jets.
You know what my main overarching theme is?
Yes.
The best feeling in the world is winning the 10 o'clock morning game and getting a chance to hate watch the rest of the afternoon palette.
But you weren't hate watching Jimmy. You were one of the few ones rooting for him.
Because I was rooting so hard against Sean Payton. That guy, what an insufferable jerk that guy is.
Did you love the onside kick?
He's such a jerk. I was pulling for Jimmy. I was rooting for the Raiders. I'm not going to lie. I was fist pumping when he had that little scramble and he ran for the first down because I love seeing Russ and Sean Payton wear the L.
It's really funny. Benjamin Albright, Broncos insider, NFL insider. You guys have him on.
I was rooting for Jimmy. I couldn't believe it.
He tweeted. He's like, you look up at the stats and the final score for the Broncos. It sure felt similar to last season. Damn near the same thing. And by the way, the Las Vegas Raiders, yes, this is the caveat. The Las Vegas Raiders have never lost to the Denver Broncos.
Really?
7-0. Since they moved into Vegas, the Las Vegas Raiders have never lost to the Denver Broncos. You just love to see that.
Wow.
You know what else you love to see? Bonta Hill and Joe Shasky in the morning roast. Niners 30, Steelers 7 on 95.7 The Game.
You're so